If you are evaluating manufacturing ERP systems, you need to know which are the top 10 manufacturing ERP systems in 2025. That's what we have discussed in this video. So let's dive in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I'm principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent, vendor-agnostic analyst and advisory firm. We help companies with their digital transformation needs, the technology selection, change management. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be top 10 manufacturing ERP systems in 2025. Before we look at the list, let's review how we define manufacturing ERP system. So number one, this list is of the product and not necessarily of the companies. And these are going to be the individual ERP products. This list contains the companies of all sizes. So in the manufacturing vertical, any of the business models that you are going to have, and all of these sizes, whether you are going to be small, large. So sometimes this list could come across as slightly more generic. So pay attention to the commentary with each system. I generally mention which particular market segment that system is going to be fit for. So just because a system is going to be number one in rank, just don't go blindly for that. Pay attention to the size. Size matters, from the system perspective. So if you are reviewing this list, you should be choosing all of the ones which are relevant for your size. And that is probably going to be the top for you, for your market segment, unless you can find a very specific list for top 10 manufacturing systems. Let's say if you're a startup and you are looking for that, then that's going to be a very different list in general. Then there are going to be other considerations. For example, mixed mode versus single mode. A lot of systems in the market, manufacturing systems, they might be designed for just one manufacturing process. For example, they might be for make to stock, make to order. Sometimes they might be for engineering to order, sometimes for batch manufacturing. And now if you need to include one more business process as part of your business model, whether you are simply doing product expansion or your clients have asked you to manufacture something, and that has very different manufacturing process than what you have, then you are probably going to outgrow that system. Some of the systems are more of the suites. So they are going to be very specific to the product categories. And when I say product, meaning this is going to be the product that you are producing as part of your manufacturing process. So they are including all of those PLM, CAD systems as part of their suite. So they might not be applicable for all of the industries, but the beauty of these systems is that you are going to find everything pre-baked as part of the suite. So you don't have to invest as much on the implementation integration, but at the same time, you are tight coupling in these industries. So as long as your business model is not going to change, you might be okay. But if that is going to change, then you need to look for slightly more generalized systems. So those are some of the considerations that you need to keep in mind. And then the criteria that we have used to compile this list is the product share, the acquisition strategy focused on manufacturing ERP, product roadmap, community ecosystem, win rate, technology strategy, as well as the investors. So those are some of the factors. And now let's look at the list. Plex is ideal for manufacturers prioritizing MES. It was always the MES first ERP system, so they are going to have much tighter alignment from the hardware perspective. It is owned by Rockwell Automation. So if you are going to use any sort of machines from Rockwell ecosystem, they are going to have much tighter alignment, much tighter integration with that. They were always very well proven in Toyota as well as Ford ecosystems. And in each of these automotive ecosystems, you are going to find very specific quality processes that is mandated for each of the suppliers. So let's say if you are going to be a supplier in these ecosystems, then your Plex is going to be a great fit. The strengths to keep in mind from Plex perspective is You are going to get the last mile functionality for Toyota as well as Ford ecosystems. Sometimes building this last mile functionality, configuring this last mile functionality on top of manufacturing ERP system, even though they might have everything from the manufacturing perspective, but just configuring the compliance functionality or just the reports could have substantial implications on your implementation budget as well as the project success. So that's why the last mile functionality matters. So you might want to keep that in mind. If you care for MES, if you're MES first of operation, you are keeping your quality processes, your scheduling processes inside your MES, and ERP is not as involved from the shop floor perspective, then this could be a great architecture as well as a system for you. Also, this is going to be cloud native UI as well as architecture. So you care for slightly more modern system compared to the capabilities that you are going to get as part of the system, then this could be a great system to include as part of your evaluation. The limitations to keep in mind is limited core ERP capabilities. The core ERP capabilities are not as great. They are great from the MES perspective, but if you look at the layers for the ERP, if you are going to be sound in your inventory management from the finance perspective, or you are looking for very deeper procurement MRP centric processes, or if you're looking for the core finance processes, they are not going to be as mature as part of the system. And then the mixed mode manufacturing capabilities are not going to be as rich, and their ecosystem as well as the consulting base is going to be super limited as well. So those are some of the limitations, and that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Sage X3. And Sage X3 does really well in that upper mid market, lower enterprise process manufacturing space. And this is probably one of the only systems that does really well in the process manufacturing space. Generally, their target market is going to be up to a $3 billion, but it could be a little bit here and there. So the strengths to keep in mind from the Sage X3 perspective is that you are going to get last mile functionality, last mile compliance reporting, regulatory requirement, as well as integration. Those could be very heavy lift, even though you might be looking at a manufacturing system, a process manufacturing system. Just enabling those or finding consulting companies that can help you from the validation perspective. If you are going to be in pharma, you are probably going to require that. So just those could be a very heavy lift in general if a system is not going to be aligned to your industry. So your industry matters, but then the diversity of the solution matters as well. So Sage X3 overall is going to be a great fit for those target segments that I just mentioned. The process manufacturing centric ecosystem is very strong in general, and then they are also going to have robust ERP capabilities for public companies. They are generally very heavy with the accounting processes, just like SAP. So if you are a public company and your reporting requirements are very high, depending upon where you are located and where you are incorporated, those reporting requirement as well as the audit requirement could vary as well. So for those spaces, Sage X3 is going to be a great fit. The limitations to keep in mind is they have limited MES capabilities. So if you are going to be heavy in MES, most likely you are going to require a third-party add-on for that. And there is nothing fundamentally wrong about that, depending upon what is your critical success factor. What do you care for most? You need to make a decision whether you would care for slightly more MES first system, or you would want the core ERP capabilities and then have the MES as more of the add-on. It might be too big for smaller companies. Again, it's a very big system designed for that upper mid market. So if you are small company, you might find it to be harder to use. It might have layers that you might not care for. So again, if you're very small, then you might want to go for slightly smaller systems. And then you are going to have limited ecosystem for discrete manufacturing. If you are using this for discrete manufacturing, then you might not find as many pre-baked integrations as well, pre-baked last mile capabilities that you are going to find with, for example, either Plex or Infor, Cloud Suite, LN or M3, etc. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Acumatica. And Acumatica is ideal for manufacturing companies in that 10 to roughly $100 million range. That's where their majority of the logos are going to be. But it is only for companies that are going to have limited global presence. So, for example, let's say if you are going to be in geographies such as Australia, Acumatica might have some add-ons there, or they might have a partnership with the OEM that may have developed the Australia-centric processes, or it could be any sort of Eastern European countries or South America. In those cases, Acumatica might not be the best fit. Acumatica is still penetrated into the handful of 5 or 6 countries. So if you are going to be there, then Acumatica is going to be a great fit. Otherwise, you are looking for some other systems that are going to have the finance, the localization process built as part of that. The strengths that you're looking at from the Acumatica perspective at B2B and B2C manufacturing products, it can support both. It is very well penetrated into the commerce-centric ecosystems as well. So any sort of integrations that you are going to require from that perspective, they are going to have those in their ecosystem. And then the diverse capabilities to support the needs of multiple business models. And when I say multiple business models, it is not just manufacturing. If we have the flavors of construction, field service, distribution could be hard as well. So if you have flavors of that as well, a lot of systems that we have on this list utilize the individual product, meaning their databases are going to be completely disconnected. With Acumatica, the approach that they have taken for their product is that these are different additions and they can live together as part of one data model, one database. So that's a huge plus for the companies that are going to have very complex, diverse business models. Especially around these 3 or 4 that I just mentioned, they might not be as diverse as your SAP or Oracle, but for these business models, they are a great fit. The other strengths of Acumatica is known for their cloud native UI as well as their consumption based pricing. So those are some of these strengths. The limitations to keep in mind is limited global capabilities. So they are not going to have global capabilities in the countries where they might not be present. And then they are also going to have the mobile reporting capabilities are not as robust as some other systems, especially when you look when you talk about some of the complex reporting scenarios when you have to let's say report the labor simultaneously on 2 different work centers. Sometimes those specific capabilities could be, or advanced capabilities could be limited. And again, these companies are updating their product on a daily basis. So you still want to do your research and analysis in where they are now with their mobile reporting capabilities. But that is something that we have seen in the past in the other engagements, that their mobile reporting capabilities are limited compared to the other advanced manufacturing systems that we have on. Multiple add-ons may be required for regulated industries as well as complex manufacturing, and some of these add-ons may be overlapping with the inventory, so they are part of the core, and that could be substantial risk for your implementation. So that's not going to be an easy lift, and that's going to be a challenge. For example, let's say if you are looking at this in the process manufacturing space, even though you are going to find an add-on that is going to look exactly like Acumatica, but still you are signing it with a third party. So that's going to be a risk, a vendor risk that you need to keep in mind, and that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is QAD. QAD is a great fit for supply chain heavy, mid to large manufacturers, especially in spaces such as your automotive, medical device, pharma, life sciences. They do really well in those spaces. So some of these trends to keep in mind from QAD perspective is they have global capabilities. They can support a lot more countries in general. They have been proven in those installations. So that's going to be a huge. And the architecture that they have followed for their suite, they are going to have the supply chain suite plus ERP, just the way your Jalmia Works is going to work, or just the way Infor is going to work. They are including all of those capabilities as part of the suite. Similarly, even your Aptean, now they have acquired a company called Agility. They are taking very similar approach. QAD has done many different things overall, I guess, from their technology advancement perspective. Now they are trying to develop their O3 version, which is going to be modern cloud native. So traditionally, they were not as modern from the technology perspective. So now they are going to be as comparable with the other systems that are going to be cloud native. But again, they are not going to have as many installations right away. So that is something to keep in mind, that they have come a long way overall in their technology upgrade. Now, they are going to have the last mile capabilities for several industries. The limitations to keep in mind is if you are going to require this for diverse business models. So, if you care for the last mile capabilities as well as integrations for these specific industries, then QAD is going to be a great fit. But let's say if you are outgrowing that business model or you are not sure whether you are going to outgrow that, so sometimes that could be a constraining factor with QAD that they might not be able to support all of those diverse business models. As for example, let's say if you compare this with slightly more horizontal systems, which is going to be your Oracle Cloud ERP or SAP S/4HANA, they might be able to support a lot more. But with that, you are looking at very expensive implementation because they are not going to have these last mile integration at least supported by OEM. They might have them in their ecosystem provided by third party vendors, but they are not supported by the OEM. So sometimes there are challenges because of that. It's if you're looking to host all of your entities in one global solution, QAD is a great fit for that. Especially from the manufacturing perspective in the industries that I just mentioned, and their ecosystem is probably not as strong as compared to some other systems. So that's number 7. Now, number 6 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. And Oracle Cloud ERP is ideal for companies that are outgrowing these specific systems, for example, QAD, Info-LN, etc. And you are looking for that financial core in many countries, and you have many different business models, and you are not sure which business models you are going to incorporate in the future. You are very active in the M&A game. If that is the case, then Oracle Cloud ERP is probably going to be a great fit for you. The strengths that you're looking at is the robust finance capabilities, especially for the publicly traded organization. If you are that, then you should be looking at Oracle Cloud ERP. They are going to be deep in the accounting finance capabilities. They might not be as deep in the operational capabilities that you are going to find with the manufacturing systems, for example, QAD, Infor, Epicor, etc. The other strengths to keep in mind from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective is this is designed for global manufacturers and robust finance capabilities for large global manufacturer as well as ecosystem is one of the strongest from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective, but it might not be as strong as SAP S/4HANA. You just don't have as many consultants in the Oracle Cloud ERP space. So the limitations to keep in mind is limited last mile capabilities. You are not going to have as deep last mile capabilities as you are going to find with some of the specific systems and not necessarily a manufacturing solution. So even though they are going to have the core manufacturing ERP layers, but when you get into the specific needs of the manufacturing, they might not have as well supported. Again, if you're looking for very horizontal system supporting many different business models, processes across the globe, then this could be a great fit. It might not be the best fit when you're looking for operationally rich system. For that, you need to go for systems such as your Infor, QAD, etc. And overwhelming for SMB manufacturers. So again, it's a very enterprise grade system. So if you are an SMB, this might not be the best system for you. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA in terms of size is very comparable to Oracle Cloud ERP. In general, in the product-centric industries, you are going to find SAP S/4HANA adopted a lot more. And when I say product-centric industries, meaning these are going to be manufacturing, distribution, the companies that are looking to host their global MRP load in one system, and they are going to have substantial synergies between their entities. If you have that, then SAP S/4HANA is a great system for that. Other systems might struggle with that kind of workload. The other strength to keep in mind is the power of HANA. Again, HANA is very powerful, but it might not be the best for these smaller companies because the heavy lifting that you are going to require from your SQL to HANA conversion is going to be substantial. So you need to keep that in mind when migrating to SAP S/4HANA. But again, HANA is very powerful, is designed for heavy lifting of those Fortune 500 companies. So if you are there, then SAP S/4HANA could be a great you, as well as the financial governance, as well as the best of breed architecture. If you need that, then SAP S/4HANA is going to. Some limitations to keep in mind is their cloud version. It has come a long way, but it is not as mature, especially if you are used to of their on-prem capabilities that they had. Cloud is a very different architecture. You are never going to have those capabilities in their cloud version. So if you care for that, then you might struggle with it because again, those features are never going to be available in the cloud. And even today, their cloud version is not as advanced as some of the other systems that we have on this list. So that's going to be a limitation. Too big for smaller companies. It's not meant for smaller companies. So if you're a very small company, don't go for SAP S/4HANA unless there are going to be constraints such as serial number. And sometimes the serial number does increase the number of transactions, the number of hits for your database. So in those cases, sometimes the smaller systems might struggle. We have seen that in some of our implementations. So even for smaller companies, sometimes you might need to SAP S/4HANA, but that should not be the default choice because then you are going to be investing a lot in the implementation. Users might not like it just because they are going to find that it's very complex, it's very heavy. So it's not designed for smaller companies. And then you are going to have the limited last mile capabilities as well as third party pre integrated options. So that's going to be a limitation as well. And that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. And this is ideal for project centric manufacturers because the way their model is designed is they are especially suitable for those manufacturers. A lot of manufacturing ERP systems might struggle with the project centric manufacturing process, but they are mixed mode manufacturing. So you're going to find all of those capabilities. But again, this is going to be slightly more horizontal solution. So you are not going to find the suite capabilities directly from the OEM. Their ecosystem is going to be really big. So you can find all of those options in their ecosystem. But again, that would depend upon the quality of add-on. Sometimes these add-ons are great. Sometimes they are not as good. So that's why that might be challenging. And that's why you need to scrutinize a little bit more when you are using Microsoft Dynamics and which add-ons are going to provide which capabilities and how your architecture is going to look like. So you need to do a lot more due diligence with Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. But if you're looking to support global workload and you're looking for a very cloud native system that is going to have capabilities for manufacturers advanced in cloud, then Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO is a great fit. Other strengths to keep in mind is best of breed products integrated at the database level. So the way they have integrated their products is very different compared to other companies, and that does provide a lot of benefits in having the seamless experience within the products in their suite. If this is going to be done at the service layer, generally the challenges are going to be more, and the speed is going to be a challenge as well. So that's going to be a huge plus for Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO products. And then the ecosystem is powerful as well as the marketplace add-ons. You are going to find many options supporting many different business models. So if you're a very diverse business or if you are trying to streamline all of the entities in your portfolio, you're a private equity company or a holding company, then for those cases, Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO is a great fit. The limitations to keep in mind is the MES capabilities are going to be supported by your third-party add-ons. They are not provided as part of the suite, and this is going to be too big for smaller companies. Again, it's a very large system, and you are not going to find as many last mile as well as best of breed capabilities. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite Industrial Sightline product. And it is ideal for SMB OEMs with extensive SKUs as well as complex sub-assemblies. So when you are going to have formal, informal manufacturing process, formal is going to be when you are sort of mandating the revision number. Some systems that are designed for aerospace verticals, they mandate that because they are heavy in engineering, but not every industry or company is going to be as regulated from the engineering perspective. So if you're looking for that fluidity, that's where Infor Cloud Suite Industrial shines. Infor Cloud Suite Industrial also has very strong configurator, one of the strongest in the industry, as well as their field service processes are very intertwined as well as part of the core model. So if you are going to have all of these business models as part of your business processes, then this is going to be now where they are going to struggle. For example, let's say if you are going to be very project centric manufacturing, this might not be the best fit, even though they are going to have some capabilities for that, but it is not going to be as strong as some of the other systems that we have on this list. The list strengths to keep in mind is their costing is one of the strongest in general. So if you are very heavy in costing, you care for cost. If cost is the driver, major driver for you to choose a manufacturing ERP system, then this could be a great system for you. Some other limitations to keep in mind is the financial reporting experience. Now, this is more of a choice. Some companies prefer to have Excel centric experience for their financial reporting, while others would like to have both. Maybe give me Excel as well as give me financial reporting as part of the system as well, so I don't have to install the add-on plugin, etc. So in this particular case, the only thing they are providing is slightly more disconnected financial reporting experience. Sometimes that could be challenging for companies. Other systems on this list may have this baked as part of the product as well. So that is a limitation to keep in mind. And then the users generally report that when they use the Infor Cloud Suite Industrial System, this is not the easiest system in general. And the reason for that is because it uses very legacy processes, even though it is cloud, but it's not going to be as rich with the cloud native features. For example, let's say if you look for enterprise search, the viewer expectation is going to be, let's say if you're using Salesforce, or Acumatica, you might not have the same experience here. So it's going to be slightly different. Once you start using the system for some time, then Infor Cloud Suite Industrial does have a lot of processes built that increases the efficiency over the period of time. So sometimes it's very hard to predict which one you are going to like, whether you are going to like slightly more cloud native experience, or you are going to like the admin centric functionality where you are going to have a lot of different keyboard shortcuts, etc. And some advanced users appreciate that. So again, that's going to be your choice in terms of what you like, but initially you are going to feel that this is probably not the best user experience that you have seen, as well as you are going to have a steep learning curve. The ecosystem is weak and the third-party options are going to be weaker as well. Even though they are working on that, they have introduced a new partner program. So we are really excited to see what they are going to do as part of that. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Appicore Kinetic. And Appicore Kinetic is going to be a right fit for industries where they are going to have the formal manufacturing processes as well as complex inventory. And complex inventory, when I say this, these are going to be industries such as your metal, etc., fastener. In these industries, Appicore does really well because they are going to require a lot more inventory layers that are not going to be supported by the other systems. So for that, Appicore Kinetic is going to be a great fit. The other stance to keep in mind is if you are going to be very formalized, with processes, sometimes your starting is going to be the revision number. If you're used to of those kind of processes, then you will relate with Appicore Kinetic a lot more compared to the other systems. So depending upon how heavy you are in engineering and which system you have used in the past. The other advantage with Appicore is the way their screens are designed. It's going to be slightly more Microsoft look and feel. So if you are used to of using Microsoft look and feel either in previous systems, then this could be a great fit. The other systems, they are going to have very different taste and flavor. So again, this is very subjective in terms of what users are going to like. So you need to interview your users, where they come from and where they are going to have the least resistance with these systems. The limitations to keep in mind is just like Infor Cloud Suite Industrial, their financial operations, the number of layers that they have are going to be limited. They are limited in their financial processes in general, and they are going to have very disconnected experience the way you are going to find with Infor as well. So again, Infor, Epicor, these are very comparable system in general. There are some nuances from the formal versus informal, the complex inventory versus the project manufacturing, etc. But for the most part, they are very comparable systems. If you're looking for a slightly more MES-centric architecture, Epicor Kinetic is probably going to be a better fit in that case. The reason for that is because they can support this as part of their MES, even though their MES is not going to be as strong, but they can support that architecture. If you are looking for embedded experience within the field service inside your ERP, they have done a lot of work and they claim that now they can support. But again, the experience might not be as embedded as of today. So you might need to do a little bit research there and vet how the field service experience is going to be, as well as quality could be a little challenge as well. It's not going to be as immersive experience as some of the other systems on this list. And the ecosystem and marketplace, I mean, that is with any prescriptive systems, it's not going to be as strong. So that's going to be a minus for them. That's going to be a negative for them. So that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite LN and M3. And LN and M3 are 2 completely different products. The reason why we bundle them together is because they are targeting 2 completely different market segments. And in these market segments, they are going to have very specific need. That's why they have structured each of those products for those industries, because they are going to be purpose built for those industries. Now, the strengths to keep in mind from the LN and M3 perspective is the limitations that you are going to find within Infor Cloud Suite Sightline, as well as with the Epicor Kinetic. Those limitations are not going to be with Infor Cloud Suite LN M3. It's designed for very diverse manufacturing processes for global operations. So this is probably the richest manufacturing system that you have. Again, this is designed for slightly more upper mid-market, lower enterprise companies. So the right figure is probably going to be roughly $250 million to $3 billion in revenue. That's where Infor Cloud Suite LN M3, they are probably going to be the right fit. So the other strengths to keep in mind is the last mile capabilities, along with the breadth of the diversified manufacturing business models. So the last mile capabilities that you are going to find as part of the suite are going to be really strong. The best of breed capabilities offered out of the box, that is going to be another strength. Some of the limitations to keep in mind is that it might not be the best fit for as a corporate solution. Let's say if you're looking for just the corporate ledger and your goal is going to be to harmonize as many entities as possible globally, and you are not sure about business models, you are very active with your M&A strategy. And if you're looking for that, then this might not be the best fit, because you are going to be tight coupled with certain business models and you might outgrow that. Then you should be going for slightly more horizontal system, and that is going to be your SAP Oracle Cloud ERP or Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. The UI experience is probably going to be very similar as your Infor Cloud Suite Industrial, and the other factors such as your ecosystem marketplace, they are going to be very similar as well, because they are coming from the same vendor. So that's it for this list. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include a detailed report, link for that. If you want to check and download that, that is going to be available in the description. We publish these videos on a weekly basis. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you might want to do that. As well as if you prefer audio form, this is also available in the audio format on major podcasting platforms. So you might want to head there, subscribe if you like. And then if you have not checked our digital transformation report, we include a lot of this analysis as well as rankings as part of the report that we publish annually. We are going to display the QR code throughout the video, so you might want to check that. On that note, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.